Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to plot the impedance trajectories seen by a distance relay during a fault on a transmission line. One of the most important tools that a protection engineer can have is the impedance diagram. It allows the engineer to evaluate the performance and behavior of distance relays during power system disturbances. Generally, distance relays make decisions based on the voltages, currents, and angles measured at the relays. As a result, apparent impedances are derived from these measured quantities. These apparent impedances can be plotted in the RX diagram to determine the behavior of relays during fault disturbances, normal loads, switching events, swings, and many other system operations. The distance relay operating characteristics, such as Mohs circles, can be superimposed on the impedance diagram with any system disturbance. The graphical ability to see the measured load, short-circuit impedances with the relay operating characteristics in the IRX diagram allows protection engineers to clearly determine the relay performance in the system. In order to plot this diagram, you will need record graph software, distance relay fault record from an ERLPro 2100 or 4000, a fault record from the Tesla 3000 digital fault recorder. You will need the relay settings. If the fault record is not from an ERLPhase product, you will need the CompTrade fault record for that digital fault recorder or the digital microprocessor relay. So I'm going to show you how to create this final result that you see on your screen from scratch. And here's my fault record from my Tesla 3000. Here's my relay settings. And if you already have the fault record, you can just right click on it, launch graph through record-based view, and you will have to choose your voltages and currents for that particular transmission line that this record has. Double click on the record here and all your oscillographic data is going to show up. Alright, now in order to create an impedance diagram, we're going to have to create an impedance view. What you do is you click the add view icon on top of your screen, and there's a drop down menu here where you create different views: overlays, symmetrical components, harmonics, and impedance. So I'm going to go ahead and click on impedance, click OK, and my impedance diagram shows up with no voltages or currents plotted on it. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to plot this by choosing our voltages first and the currents for that line. And here we go. My impedances, my fault impedances are plotted on the impedance diagram. Now the next step is to import my relay settings, my distance relay settings, into the graph. And the way that I do that is by clicking on this icon, relay data and impedance options. Click on that, bring my relay settings from my ERLPro 2100 or 4000 and import them just by clicking on this icon. I'm going to show you, if you're using another record from another IED vendor, I'm going to show you how to import that CompTrade file and how to actually import those relay settings from the other IED vendor. But for now, we're going to proceed and do it with the ERLPro 4000 relay settings. I got various options here. I can plot my phase to ground and phase to phase fault impedances, and I want to choose phase to phase, and I'm going to click on all my phase to phase impedances here. I can also choose to plot my line impedance, my load impedance, blinders, and a directional element if you wish. Let's go ahead and click on all the zone characteristics that I want to plot. So I'm just going to choose zone 1 through 3, and I wanted a more characteristic circle applied to it. I'm going to apply it. And I'm going to close this window. And as I can see, my mode characteristics have been superimposed with my fault impedances, as we can appreciate here on this view. Now, if I want to plot my fault to ground impedances, I can do that by clicking on this box, and I'm going to have to check all my impedances A through C by checking on these boxes. And in the same way, I can also plot my quadrilateral characteristics if I wish to do that. So let's go ahead and just an example, I'm going to say zone 3 as a quadrilateral element, and I'm going to apply. And here it is. Now if I don't want this quadrilateral element, I want to say mode circle, and I'm going to apply it, and here we go. So this is how you create an impedance diagram with your fault impedances trajectories plotted on the same graph. Now if you want to use record graph to plot an impedance trajectory from another IED vendor, what you need to do, you're gonna have to have your CompTrade file for that particular record. And what I need to do is, from record graph software, I can import this CompTrade file, and the same way I'm going to double click on the record, and all my oscillographic data is going to show up here. We got several tabs on the bottom, and I want to look at the analog just to show you that this fault was here. So in the same manner, I'm going to create, I'm going to go to the add view icon, and I'm going to create an impedance view, and I'm going to go ahead and choose my voltages and currents that I want to choose. So here's an option of my currents being plotted on the impedance diagram during a fault that this distance relay has captured. Now I can also choose another current here, and you can see the different responses during the fault. On the same manner, you will have to import the CompTrade. You will have to import your relay settings in order to superimpose either more circles. And the way that you do that is in the same way we did with the ERLPro 2100 or 4000 ERLPhase relay, or the Tesla 3000. So what you need is the relay settings for that particular relay. Since this is the settings will be in the other IED format, you will have to manually import it, those distance relay settings, into the ERLPro offliner, save that file, and import it through record graph. So I'm going to go ahead and import that, and on the same manner I'm going to say all my distance zone 1 through 3. I'm going to apply it. Once applied, I can see my mode circles here. I can see my fault characteristics way on the left. However, it looks like in this case the impedances never got through my zone characteristics. The way you manually import the relay settings or relay zone settings from another IED vendor into the ERLPro offliner is by having the offliner software, which can be downloaded from our website. Once you have downloaded the offliner, what you need to do, you just need to go into your protection functions. You choose your face-to-face 21 characteristics, and then click on all the zones that that particular IED vendor has, and then just import your settings, your magnitudes and angles, and then save this file as relay settings or whatever you want to call it. Once saved, you can import it as shown through retrograph. So this is the way that you plot full impedance characteristics into the diagram, and you can also I also show you how that can be plotted along with the relay characteristics such as the mole circles. I hope this is helpful.